Hello, church. We will see where this devotional ends up because, I was just doing some commentary reading, and there's going to be some fun pieces up ahead of us. Today, we continue in chapter 10. We're going to be doing verses 8 to 15. This is part of a larger section. But I wanted to break it up a little bit because there's some good portions of commentary from Towner as we're going through. Forgive me for a minute while I go ahead and get our next portion pulled up in the message. And so this is appropriate for the NRSV too. We have we're going to be dealing with two sections that are kind of broken up, dealing with two different things. Tanner will get into kind of the nature of the section because we're dealing with a lot of cause and effect, as well as some repeated imageries in the midst of that. So here we go with 8 through 15 in our NRSV. And this section is entitled, The Certainty of Cause and Effect. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever breaks through a wall will be bitten by a snake. Whoever quarries stones will be hurt by them, and whoever splits logs will be endangered by them. If the iron is blunt and one does not whet the edge, then more strength must be exerted. But wisdom helps one to succeed. If the snake bites before it is charmed, there is no advantage in a charmer. Words spoken by the wise bring them favor, but the lips of fools consume them. The words of their mouths begin in foolishness, and their talk ends in wicked madness. Yet fools talk on and on. No one knows what is to happen, and who can tell anyone what the future holds? The toil of fools wears them out, for they do not even know the way to town. So let me go ahead and pose the question. If that is our NRSV translation, what kind of field day is Peterson going to have in the message? All right, a few pieces of introduction and then some reflection. The collection of miscellaneous proverbs found in 10:8 through 11:6 pivots around the theme of the inexorable tie of cause to effect. However, that theme is not explored in a theoretical, abstract way. By offering a number of examples of wise and foolish behavior and their results, the text shows that actions guided by prudence will enjoy success. Not once in this passage does the teacher brand the outcome of good judgment and wise behavior an absurdity, which by now you probably realize is somewhat unusual in Ecclesiastes. Put another way, these proverbs assure the teacher, student, or reader that disaster assuredly will follow folly, and that caution and good judgment help one to avoid such disaster. And our first part of the reflection. Every preacher ought to deliver a sermon on Ecclesiastes 10, 8 to 11. Don't think I ever have. How about a daily devotional instead? Although this passage is not in any lectionary reading, it ought to be because it sets forth in a wonderful way the principle of the destiny-producing deed. In his realism, the teacher finds no need to invoke God either as the proximate or the remote cause of things like snake bite, quarry and logging accidents, and the stupid and embarrassing position of a person who has fallen into the trap prepared for an enemy. In this text, a deed brings on its own unhappy destiny just as dependably as night follows day. No doubt, as Kohelet himself says in 3:9 to 15, God is in ultimate control of the world and of history. That remains the faith of Judaism and Christianity. Within that large scheme, however, there is a circle of human hegemony in which we make our own decisions, shape our own immediate destinies, and have to act either foolishly or responsibly. In short, Ecclesiastes gives us canonical authority to give a certain secular, non-sacral interpretation to experience. God may have the whole world in the divine hands, but there is a sphere within that sphere in which human beings are fully responsible. In that sphere, people reap what they sow. In spite of the teacher's highly predeterministic outlook, he secures a place for human autonomy. Intriguing passage, and look forward to sharing some more with you on that one tomorrow. Now, here's our Peterson. Let's find out what trouble we're about to get into. Caution. The trap you set might catch you. Warning. Your accomplice in crime might double-cross you. Safety first. Quarrying stones is dangerous. Be alert. Felling trees is hazardous. Remember, the duller the axe, the harder the work. Use your head. The more brains, the less muscle. If the snake bites before it's been charmed, what's the point in then sending for the charmer? The words of a wise person are gracious. The talk of a fool self-destructs. He starts out talking nonsense and ends up spouting insanity and evil. Fools talk way too much, chattering stuff they know nothing about. A decent day's work so fatigues fools that they can't find their way back to town. Okie dokie. So that's our devotional for Thursday, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. And I think I'll go ahead and do some pre-recording for Saturday. We have the chicken barbecue coming up, and look forward to being out in the pits and seeing you all who might be there or driving through the line. Take care.